right, good afternoon. I was nervous till I got those cookies. Now, what they call it? What's that juice Black Panther has? I'm feeling it. Wakanda forever. For those that know me personally, like my best friend, one of my best friends, Ashley here, you guys know that I'm a clown. I'm silly. I'm really lighthearted, and that's just how I go about life. There's some very serious things that are happening in life, especially to us as Black women. However, we have to keep a positive attitude about it. So thank you for those cookies. I feel all right now. I'm got a little hot. In case of me an order later. But no, seriously, I use humor when I'm nervous. It makes me kind of relax a little bit. And so for me, the reason I'm nervous, I've played in front of thousands of people before, Sweet 16, all of that good stuff, national televised games, and I don't get nervous because that's my comfort zone. You know, I am a introvert, and so I do people, but I don't really do people. I like my space and my comfort zone, and I feel protected around my own little shield. I'm in my own energy. But I don't take this opportunity lightly. Anytime that I have an opportunity to speak to our future, I'm all about it and I'm passionate about it. And so rather than just tell you what I do, I'm gonna pretty much show you what I do on a day-to-day basis. So at first I said we're gonna bring out the phones. So turn them on real quick. Turn your phones on real quick. Lesson number 1, you always must be engaged in your learning. It's not up to your teacher for you to get it. It's up to you to get it. So you need to be engaged, you need to be active, you need to be raising your hands, asking questions. How many of y'all sit in the first 2 rows in your classrooms? All right. The rest of you, next year, you need to be in the first 2 rows of your classroom so that you are active and you're paying attention. All right. I guess that'll lead me into a little bit about what I do. Actually, I'm going to start off with who I am, because that's the most important thing, is you have to know who you are. All right. And so my background, my name is Marquetta Dickens. Everybody calls me Q. I'm right here from Princeville, North Carolina, born and raised. I went to school at Tarboro High, graduated in 2003, where I went on to North Carolina State, where I was a 4-year starter on the women's basketball team there, graduated with a degree in sports management and business. I went on to play professional basketball in both Portugal and Poland. From there, I started coaching. My coach, actually one of my inspirations, passed away in 2009. And after I told her I would never in my life coach, and the reason I told her I would never coach is because I know what we did in college, and I wasn't dealing with all that. But I did. It was the way that she handled us and the way that she molded us. It was an inspiration to me. So after she passed away in 2009, I'm going to talk a little bit later about divine intervention and what role it played in my life. But after 2 years of playing professional basketball, being leading scorer, leading rebounder, everything on this team in Portugal, I didn't get a call right away to go back. And so I volunteered. This is what I do a lot. I volunteer my time at North Carolina Central to a basketball camp. And from there, they liked the way that I taught, and they asked me would I volunteer to be a coach. I said, well, I'm waiting on a job to come to go back overseas. Why not? I'll do it. And so I started out doing it, and within those 2 years of playing, my uncle was on life support, and Coach had passed away. And I am a person who is very family-oriented, and so that really rocked my foundation, being away from my family and not being able to do anything. So this gave me an opportunity, coaching gave me an opportunity to really combine all of my passions together, which was youth. I have a passion for youth and building the future of our country, especially our young Black women. Being a Black woman myself is something that I'm passionate about. Basketball, I've been playing it since the age of 5, and I will talk about that a little bit too. So give me a little 2-minute warning or whatever, because I can sit here and talk to y'all about positivity and pump life into you all day long. That's something that I can do all day. That's no problem. And so after that, the year went by. Halfway through the year, my agent called me and said, hey, got a gig for you. And I'm like, I'm making money. Well, I have the opportunity to make money. I'm here with my family. I have basketball. I really enjoy what I do. I have a bond and build rapport with these young women that really look up to me. I'm gonna stay. So I sacrificed my own career to build the careers of others. And that's what a lot of people don't know about me, that I prematurely stopped my own career to focus on the careers of others. And that's just who I am as a person. I'm a very selfish person. And that can be to a fault. When I was younger, I would put what other people thought about, not necessarily thought about me, but what they wanted from me and how they felt I will put before myself. And if you're not careful, you will lose yourself by doing that. So especially as young women, you got all these little boys telling you need to do this, do that. You see what's popular and what girls are getting attention for what. No, this goes back to who are you and what are you going to do with your life and who do you want to be. So your actions have to line up with that. For me, I'm the great-granddaughter of the late Maggie Perkins from Princeville, North Carolina. That's important to me because my grandmother owned several acres of land as a woman in Princeville, North Carolina in the early 1800s. And that was before women's suffrage came along, where women had the right to vote and all of that good stuff that you'll learn about if you haven't already. She owned land. She owned her own business. She also owned her own shop house before and during Prohibition. So that lets you know what kind of woman she was and what she passed down to us. I am naturally a rebel. Who I am and who I was birthed to be is naturally a rebel. And rebel does not necessarily mean that it's a negative thing, but I was born and I was sent here to disrupt the system and the status quo, and I know it. And so from there, from coaching and things like that, and my passion that came along, several years down the road, Princeville, I'm the great-granddaughter of Maggie Perkins. I am the granddaughter of Rayfield Perkins and Delia Perkins, who was the mayor of Princeville, North Carolina during the 1999 flood. So that is, I'm giving you examples of two rebels, women in my life. My grandmother fought for the town of Princeville, wherever, the government wanted to snatch our land. They wanted to say, you're not worthy, you guys aren't bringing anything to this economy, we're not spending millions of dollars to fix your levee. In other words, screw you, we'll move on, we'll buy your land, find somewhere else, you're not worth us putting our money into. That's essentially what they told us. Grandmother said, you don't know who we are and what we are and who we belong to, and we're not going anywhere. And so that's what I grew up watching my whole life. So if you wonder why I am so passionate and why I do wear my heart on my sleeves for people, it's because that's what I grew up watching. And then my mom, singer mom, I watched her go through nursing school. She got an LPN, then an RN. She's working 7 in the morning to 7 at night. Somehow she made sure she never missed a basketball game, both college and high school. She even came all the way to Fresno, California, during my last game, my senior year, was Sweet 16. And that was all due to also my family and the support that I had. And so that's who I am. You guys have to figure out who you are. And the reason why that's important is once you know who you are, you don't answer to anything other than that. There has been times in life before I knew who I was answering to everything else. Things that people thought I should be or thought I should do this or thought I should do that. I answered to those things because I didn't really know who I was at that time. And from there, it caused a lot of anxiety and depression, trying to figure out who I was, what was supposed to be my walk in life, what was I supposed to believe, who am I supposed to believe in, all of those kinds of things. And so I got a job in New Jersey, my first time leaving North Carolina in 2011, and this little old country girl was nervous. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going up here. These people are rude. They have no manners. I'm thinking Sopranos, concrete jungle. How am my little country self going to survive in New Jersey? Well, luckily for me, I went to the suburbs. I went to the suburbs in New Jersey, and I was a mile from the beach. That was my home. And so the first night I got there, it's these houses line up across from the beach. So I had the beach on one side, and I had these multi-million-dollar homes on my left. And anytime I needed motivation, I would just take that ride along the beach, because I love the water. Like, it gives me peace. And I would see these houses, and I would say, I'm going to own one of those one day. And then I changed that to I own one of those. I started speaking that into my life. And the money didn't come the way that I would have wanted and still wanted to, but it's coming. It's here. I know it's here. It ain't in my pocket yet. But opportunities started to come. And so knowing who I was, At Monmouth University, I was there for 4 years. This is a Division I institution, so this is one of the highest levels in college women's basketball that you can play at. So I was an assistant coach there for 4 years. And the things that I learned from Coach Al was, one thing is, people don't care what you know until they know you care. So that's always been my philosophy. And I didn't necessarily like the direction that things were going. And so I made an executive decision. Remember, I told you, once you know who you are, you won't answer to anything else? Well, I put in my resignation before I even had another job. I knew I wasn't going to be a part of that. That's just like me working for an institution and I know don't value the lives of black people. I'm not working there. Sorry. It's just, that's who I am. But remember, my family lineage, you know, where I come from, that's who we are. That's who my great-grandmother was. That's who my grandmother was. We stood for something. All right, and so I put in my resignation. You know, I meditate a lot. I pray and I meditate every day because I need that silence. I need that silence so I can hear from, you know, the higher power of who am I? What am I supposed to be doing right now? I know I don't personally have all the answers, but I know that the answers are out there. I know they're within me, but I have to be quiet and sit so that they can be revealed. And so, you know, through meditation, it's like, it's time to go. You learn all you need to learn here. Something else is bigger and better for you. So I'm like, okay, cool. You know, after you meditate, you feel good. You know, you feel like, yeah, I got this. You're powerful. For some of you, it might be prayer. You know, after you leave church, you're like, yeah, I feel good. All right. So that's how I felt coming out of meditation. So I went in coach's office and said, you know, coach, I really appreciate this opportunity. But however, I think, you know, this is going to be my last season. So after the end of the season, I'm going to start looking for other opportunities. When I started coaching, I knew I was going to be a head coach. That was my goal from day one. And if you know me, whatever I say I'm going to do, I'm going to do. And so I left out of the office. I'm like, what I just do? I don't have a job. I don't have anything lined up. But what I did have that nobody could take away from me was faith. And I had a word that was spoken, and I received it, and I was open to it. Now, don't get me wrong. I was nervous. I was sweating. I was just like, oh, gosh. So I'm sitting in class. At that time, I'm in a master's program for student affairs college counseling. I wanted to get into the mental health field because there was a void and a lack for mental health presence, especially of black women and just black people, period, in mental health. Side note, we need to be more conscious about our mental health. Anxiety, depression, those type of things are past trauma, PTSD. Black people, we have it all the way dating back from slavery. It's passed down through our DNA. So I wanted to learn about those things, and so I got into that field. And so I'm sitting in classes, group class, which is about race, and I'm the only black person in there. That's pretty much been my life. Being the sole black person in a room and having to rep it and feeling like you have the weight of your race on your shoulders because everybody's looking to you and what you say represents your race. And I try to avoid and let people know that I'm not the voice of my race, I'm the voice of myself. However, I will stand up for my race all the time, and I don't shy away from it because it's a part of my identity. And so sitting in that classroom, you know, I shared where I was, and then that day I shared, you know, I quit my job. And here I am in a field that's dominated by white males, and I think, you know, I'm going to get me another opportunity. And I'm nervous. I don't know. This is May. My contract is up at the end of June. And so my professor pulled me in after class and said, you know, I've watched you over the last 2.5, 3 years. You're exactly what we would like to have in our office. And so, you know, I want to offer you a job. So I'm like, I just look up and I'm like, wow, okay, all right. But in my mind, I'm like, this isn't what I wanted though. I wanted to coach, you know, like I wanted to coach. I still wanted to be around basketball. But then, you know, I sat and I meditated. It's like, well, here's the thing, Q. Every path that you choose still leads you back to your purpose and what you're supposed to be doing in life. If you're open to it and you receive it, and I'm an open vessel. I will be used by the higher powers as much as possible. So that's why I'm here today. And so I said, you know, okay. And even after that, I went on the interview. I had, in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna do part-time. I'm gonna start out part-time because I'm gonna coach. And sure enough, after I committed myself to that job, I got a call from a college in New Jersey in Jersey City, to come in and bring me in for a head coaching interview. And I'm like, I'm a loyal person, so I'm like, I already made a commitment. This is where I'm going to be. I can't commute from Jersey City all the way to Lansdale, Pennsylvania, right outside of Philadelphia. So I stayed with that. And I was a psychotherapist for 2 years. Anybody know what a psychotherapist is? Psychological counselor. The person, so okay, remember in the movies, you know, the red chair, you lay down in the red chair, this person is talking to you over the glasses. Y'all seen that? That was me. So my youngest client was 3, my oldest client and couple was 54. I was highly intimidated. The first time I got a 54 couple in the room. I've been married 2 years at that time. But I'm gonna tell this couple, they've been married longer than I've been alive. You know, and so that job taught me a lot about confidence and believing in yourself and what you train and what you've learned to do. Age doesn't necessarily mean a thing. All right. And so I've had people still to this day come back to me and tell me how, you know, the things that I did and said to them helped them learn who they were so they could be conscious of the decisions that they made and change their lives. All right. And so that's what I do. Then I realized I'm still coaching. I'm just not coaching basketball. But I missed it. So the next year I got a head coaching job at community college. I traveled an hour, commuted an hour every day just to get to work. After that, I got another call and I'm meditating again. I'm praying. I'm doing my visualization. You know, I'm at my little self-made altar and everything. I had a vision that, you know, something's going to happen. You got an opportunity coming your way. You just need to be ready for it. So I'm like, okay, you know, I just had a talk with the president of the community college and we're talking about the program we're moving. I'm like, I'm comfortable. Like, I'm good. You know, I make good money here. I'm about to be a licensed therapist. Like, I'm okay. So what opportunity what is there? So then I get a call from my basketball mentor, and then she said, you know, this opportunity over in New Jersey at this Catholic school, and, you know, it's a really good opportunity. Division III, blah, blah. I'm just like, first of all, are they even going to accept me at a Catholic institution? You know, just for being who I am. Made me nervous. And then so I'm like, you know, then it hit me. You just had this vision. It just told you to be ready to be open. So I'm like, okay, here I go. So I went into the interview. Well, lo and behold, this athletic director is a 2-time Olympian, multiple Hall of Fames, National Hall of Fame, Women Hall of Fame. And so it was just, I walk in there and it's a HBCU on a predominantly white campus. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, cool. This is where I'm supposed to be right now. And so that's what I did. Now I travel, not an hour, but an hour and a half each way every day. Just to go to work and to build the lives of young people. So that's who I am and kind of what I do in a nutshell, okay? Now from here on out, we're gonna talk about y'all. Enough about me. This is about you all, okay? So here's the thing. Got your piece of paper, not the paper you've been doodling on for the last hour. Get you a nice clean sheet real quick. All right, y'all got it? Parents, pull out your phones. I'm gonna need y'all. Oh, no, y'all got y'all phones. Okay, cool. So one of the reasons why I'm here is because I'm successful. That's hard for me to admit out of my mouth sometimes because in my mind, I don't have that house on the beach yet, so I'm not where I want to be. So sometimes I'm like, ooh, success. What does that mean? So there was a coach named Coach John Wooden who's probably one of the most successful coaches in basketball, period. And here's his definition of success. And from there, I created my own. And today, you guys are going to create your own definition of success. Okay? So John Wooden's definition of success is a peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do your best to become the best that you are capable of becoming. That's John Wooden's definition of success. It didn't say that you were going to have $1 million and you were going to do this, blah, blah, blah. Did it? No? All right. So here's my definition of success. My definition of success. Success is a place within yourself of knowing who you are, why you are, and authentically living that truth day in and day out with the intentions of bringing joy, hope, and bringing joy and hope to self and all connected to you. So that's my definition of success. All right, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds. What is your definition of success? Write it down. And I want at least one person to share with me what your definition of success is. All right, somebody that's finished, give me your definition of success. Say it again. The accomplishment of or aim or purpose. I need you to write that piece of paper that you have written down. You have a mirror at home. I need you to take that to your mirror. And every day you wake up, you look at that. And you say, today I am successful. Okay? I am successful. All right, one more person. Give me a definition of success.
To achieve what you believe in.
Ooh. See, this is why I like y'all to do the work, because y'all do it 10 times better than some of us adults. Because your minds are so powerful, and it's so. See, I've been living for 32, going on 33 years, so my mind's been tainted by some other stuff. You know, you guys are still innocent. Keep your innocence. Like baby girl over here protecting her definition of success. Y'all gotta protect your spirit the same way, because it will come under attack. Simply because of who you are and how successful you are. So you protect your spirit like that, okay? All right? So when somebody come in your life and they start talking trash, you throw up that cape and get on out of here. All right? All right, so definition of success. Tape it to your mirror, say it every day. We call it an affirmation. Let it be your affirmation. So it's affirming your success within, and then it's going to show on the outside. All right? Got it? All right, so basically, how do I get here, and how do you guys get to the place where you can be successful? We could talk a good talk game, but you have to have action, okay? Just like these women right here, they didn't expect to be where they were, but however, they did the action to get where they were. And then Ashley just said, had I had the intention and had I known earlier, I would be even further ahead of where I am. And so you guys need to intentionally start to think about, who am I and what do I want? And say what you want. And let it be the wildest thing that you can ever imagine. And then you put in the steps to go get it. Okay? So how do I get here? First of all, it's passion. All right? Passion. And with passion comes suffering. How have you guys heard of the Passion of Christ? What's the one thing that all of us can remember about Christ? Sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice to become successful? For me, it was time. I don't have much of it. I don't have much of it. From coaching basketball, still trying to work with clients, and also I'm a co-founder of an organization right here in Princeville, North Carolina called Fighters for Freedom Hill. Have you guys, anybody ever heard of it before? So I'm a co-founder of that. I want to make sure soon you all know about it, because we all need to be a part, and we all need to be a part of really giving back and growing our own legacies right here. And that's why it's important to know who we are. All right. And so between doing that and coaching and stuff like that, sometime in season you're working 80 hours a week. So for me, it was time. I sacrificed my time. From the age of 5, I was outside shooting basketball till 11 o'clock at night. Okay. I'm up early in the morning. And so you guys ask, how do you get so good? Yeah, a lot of it is genetics, but I put in the time. Every Saturday morning, I wasn't watching cartoon and eating cereal. That was kind of boring to me. I was at the gym playing basketball every weekend. Every weekend. If I can go every day, I would, but I had to clean my room and all that other boring stuff. So, all right. So passion. What are you willing to sacrifice to get there? And your passion are the things that you're excited about. What is it that you like to do? What is it that you like to do, right? And the things that you like to do, you can make money off of. Allow those things to generate your success, okay? Because your passion fuels, the next word we're going to talk about is purpose. What's your purpose? Sometimes we all say, we got to find our purpose. We got to find our purpose. We were all birthed with a purpose. But the older we get, again, we start to listen to other things and other people and other influences, and sometimes we lose ourselves in what our purpose is. My purpose, and I know this, my purpose is to be a servant leader. Right? I didn't know it at the time. It was, again, divine intervention for me was me not getting that, me going to NC State #1. I was top 25 in the country coming out of high school. People looking at me like I'm crazy. Why aren't you going to UConn? Why aren't you going to Duke? Who were all top 5 schools. NC State hadn't been to the playoffs into the NCAA tournament in the last 2 to 3 years, so they were down. 3 people had just transferred. They're like, you're crazy. Why are you going there? You know? But divine intervention, I met Coach Al when I was 11, and we already had a rapport and a relationship. And had I gone anywhere else in the country, I would not be the woman that I am today. And I can definitively say that. Had I gone to UNC, yeah, great, sure. They would have let me go basketball-wise, and I would have been phenomenal. I would have been an Olympian, but I would probably have been a very arrogant one. Because that's the culture that was there at the time. Coach Chow, however, as a leader, she was humble. She was humble, and she taught us very life lessons. People don't know what you care until they know you care. It's okay to wallow in self-pity. You got to swish your feet and get out. I watched Coach Chow battle stage 5 breast cancer. Like, that was humbling for me to see a woman pass out pretty much before our senior night, wheeled out in a stretcher, and come back to the game with her fingernails wrapped up. She could barely clap because her hands are hurting. She has a wig on. Like, this woman, she's sacrificing for us. She's putting, we're giving her life. She's giving us life. That was the most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed in my life. And it still motivates me today. All right? So purpose. I know my purpose is to be a servant leader. I know I'm supposed to sacrifice some things, all right, to make sure that the lives of others are successful. Now, I'm not going to sacrifice myself. Absolutely not. All right? But I'll sacrifice my time. I'll sacrifice my money. All right? And I'm still wondering why I'm not a billionaire yet because, that levee over in Princeville, all of that will be fixed, But it's coming. It's coming. All right? And so what I'm here to do now is to build up the minds of the future leaders so that when y'all get that billion and that couple of millions, then you all will reach back and give to your community too. Right? All right, so purpose. What is your purpose? Once you find it, you need to live it. Okay? Submit to the divine interventions in your life. All right? If that's Jesus, you need to submit to that. Okay? Whatever that is for you, submit to it. Be a vessel. Be open. Okay? Pride. Everybody kind of don't let your pride and blah, blah, blah. And ego. You ever heard of that one? Ego. Y'all know where the term ego is? All right, so there's nothing wrong with having pride. You should have pride in what you do. However, you don't want that pride to overinflate, okay? You want to be balanced, all right? You want to have pride in what you do because you want to do it to the best of your ability, and whatever you do, you always do it wholeheartedly and with passion. And you do that because that's who you are. All right. I go back to the example where I was leaving my last school. I didn't necessarily agree with everything, but I still gave my all because that's who I am. My athletes say all the time, Coach, I'm not talking because nobody else is talking on the court. But who are you? Who are you? Coach, I'm a leader. Then, okay, so are you a leader today or are you a follower? Which are you going to be? What you consistently do is who you are. Okay, remember that. What you consistently do is who you are. All right? So that means you have an opportunity to change who you are. All right? On the outside. Who you are on the inside will still remain. You just got to dig deep and reconnect with it. Okay? All right, I'm going to leave you guys with this poem. And it's one of my favorite. And it's one of my favorite because I'm guilty of this. I would used to dim my light all the time because I didn't want to outshine or make anybody else feel less than, but I started to understand that really had nothing to do with me. Other people's insecurities have nothing to do with me. I have to be me because that light allows other people to feel the freedom to shine too. All right? So this poem is called Our Greatest Fear by Marianne Williamson. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightening about shrinking so other people won't feel insecure around you. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And so for me, my purpose is to liberate. And that's why I'm here. I had to liberate myself first. And so you guys, hopefully, wish you the best. I'm always here. I'm here back and forth. Anything I can do for you, career-wise, just personally, please just let me know. All right, thank you.